The room fell silent as Dr. Alan Carter's image appeared on the large screen. His face looked tired, but his eyes were bright with excitement. Everyone at the Global Space Agency headquarters in Houston leaned forward in their seats. "We've confirmed it," Alan said, his voice clear despite coming from 12 light-years away. "The object in the Tau Ceti system is definitely a stable micro-black hole, and it's unlike anything in our records." Dr. Olivia Winters pushed her glasses up and stared at the data flowing across her tablet. After 15 years of studying black holes, this discovery made her heart race. The readings showed patterns she had never seen before. "The energy signature doesn't match our models," she said, mostly to herself. Agency Director Frank Sullivan nodded slowly. "How stable is stable, Alan?" "We've been observing for 6 months now. No significant changes in size or rotation. It's just sitting there, almost like it's waiting for us." The year was 2187. Humanity had spread throughout the solar system, with bases on Mars, Europa, and Titan. They had sent probes to nearby star systems and made contact with the Galactic Alliance 8 years ago. The alliance included 17 different alien species, all more advanced than humans. They treated Earth like a curious child who had just learned to walk. "The Alliance representatives want to speak with us immediately," said Communications Officer Jack Nelson, looking up from his console. "Priority channel. They sound concerned." Sullivan sighed. "Put them through." The main screen split, and Alan's face was joined by the blue-skinned, four-eyed figure of Zixforn, the Alliance's ambassador to Earth. "We have detected your presence near the void anomaly in Tau Ceti," the alien said without greeting. "You must withdraw your research vessel immediately." Sullivan straightened in his chair. "Ambassador, this is a scientific mission in neutral space. The black hole presents no immediate danger to. No species returns from beyond the event horizon." Zixforn interrupted. "This is known. This is fact. The Treaty of Proxima forbids such exploration." "A treaty Earth never signed," Sullivan pointed out. The alien's upper eyes narrowed. "Because you were not invited to sign. You are too young, too reckless." Olivia stood up, unable to contain herself. "Ambassador, our preliminary scans show quantum fluctuations at the boundary that contradict standard physics. There's something unusual about this particular black hole. All the more reason to avoid it," Zixforn said. "We have records of similar anomalies dating back millions of years. No exploration team has ever returned." After the call ended, the room burst into conversation. Sullivan raised his hand for quiet. "Alan, continue your observations, but keep your distance. We need more data before we make any decisions." Later that evening, Olivia sat alone in her lab, reviewing the transmitted data for the 5th time. The quantum readings at the black hole's boundary showed patterns that shouldn't exist. It was as if information was escaping somehow, defying everything they knew about black holes. Her computer chimed. A message from Alan had arrived, sent hours ago from the research vessel. "Olivia, I sent you a separate data package, encrypted to your personal key. There's something else we found. The Alliance ships watching us don't know we detected it. It looks like artificial signals coming from inside the black hole. I think something or someone is in there." Olivia's hands trembled as she decrypted the file. The screen filled with waveforms that pulsed in regular patterns. Not random. Not natural. She picked up her phone and called Sullivan. "Director, I need to show you something. And then I think we need to start planning a manned mission." "To where?" he asked, though from his tone, he already knew. "To the black hole," she said, staring at the pulsing patterns. "I think we've just received an invitation." 5 years passed. The large room at the United Space Initiative headquarters was filled with more people than it could comfortably hold. Maps and diagrams of the Tau Ceti system covered the walls. In the center stood Director Frank Sullivan, older now with more gray in his hair. "Project Horizon is ready," he announced to the gathered scientists, engineers, and government officials. After 5 years of research and preparation, we are ready to send humans to study the black hole up close. Whispers filled the room. Everyone knew the risks. Everyone knew the warnings from the Galactic Alliance. Samantha Powell, the lead engineer on the project, stepped forward. She was young but brilliant, with short red hair and steady hands that had designed the ship's most important systems. The USV Challenger has been built with our newest gravitational shielding technology, she explained, pointing to the hologram of a sleek spacecraft. The shields can withstand forces up to 900 times Earth's gravity. Nothing like this has ever been built before. A government official raised his hand. What about the Alliance? They've made it clear they oppose this mission. Sullivan's face hardened. We received another warning yesterday. They threaten to cut off all technological exchanges if we proceed. And, someone asked, and I told them that humanity's greatest achievements have always come from facing the unknown. We didn't become a spacefaring species by following others' rules about what's possible. The room broke into applause. When it quieted, Sullivan continued, We've selected the crew. Commander Peter Collins will lead the mission. Peter stood up. He was a veteran astronaut with over 20 years of experience. His calm presence made everyone feel safer. Dr. Olivia Winters will serve as chief scientist, Sullivan added. Olivia nodded. The past 5 years of studying the black hole's signals had changed her. She seemed more determined, more focused. The rest of the crew includes navigation specialist Andrew Martinez, quantum physicist Dr. Lisa Coleman, AI systems engineer Gregory Kim, chief medical officer Diana Rodriguez, and chief engineer Scott Bradley. As Sullivan named each person, they stood briefly. 7 humans who would journey where no known species had gone and returned. Later that day, Olivia sat with Peter in the ship simulator, running through emergency procedures again. You know the Alliance isn't just making empty threats, Peter said quietly. An alien delegation arrived this morning. Olivia looked up from her tablet. Who? Someone called Crothall. Apparently very important in their scientific community. The door to the simulator opened, and Director Sullivan entered with a tall, thin alien whose skin looked like polished stone. 4 arms were folded carefully across its chest. Dr. Winters, Commander Collins, this is Senior Researcher Crothall of the Newvery, Sullivan said. The alien bowed slightly. I have studied your species' scientific achievements. They are impressive for your developmental stage. Thank you, Olivia said cautiously. May we speak privately? Crothall asked. Without recording devices. Sullivan looked surprised but nodded and left the room. When they were alone, Crothall's formal posture relaxed slightly. My species attempted what you planned to do, the alien said quietly. 26,000 years ago, we sent 9 ships to explore a similar anomaly. None returned officially. Peter and Olivia exchanged glances. Officially, Peter asked. 1 ship's emergency beacon activated 2 years later, near a different black hole in a different system. The data it transmitted was troubling. It showed things that contradicted our understanding of reality. The Alliance buried the findings. Crothall reached into a pocket and removed a small crystal. This contains the data from that beacon. It is forbidden for me to share this. Olivia took the crystal with trembling hands. Why help us? The alien looked at them with eyes that had seen millennia. Because sometimes the universe needs a species foolish enough to do what the wise fear to try. Crothall moved toward the door. I was never here. That night, as final preparations for launch continued, Olivia worked feverishly to decode the alien data. What she found made her both terrified and certain that they were making the right choice. The next morning, she showed Peter her findings. We need to make some changes to our approach, she said. And I think I know why the black hole is sending signals. Peter studied the new data. If you're right, this changes everything we thought we knew about black holes. It does, Olivia agreed. They're not endings. They might be beginnings. Launch day arrived with clear skies over the Kennedy Space Center. The USV Challenger stood tall on the launch pad, its white hull gleaming in the morning sun. Inside the crew quarters, 7 people prepared for the journey that would take them farther than any human had gone before. Andrew Martinez checked his navigation systems for the 5th time that morning. His dark eyes moved quickly across the screens, looking for any problems. "Still worried?" asked Dr. Lisa Coleman as she floated into the navigation room. The physicist had a way of moving that made even the training gravity seem optional. "Not worried, just careful," Andrew replied. "We'll be 3 months away from any help. Everything needs to be perfect." Lisa nodded. "Gregory and I were up all night arguing about what we might find near the event horizon. And he thinks the black hole might be artificial. I think it's natural but connected to something else." She smiled. "Guess we'll find out who's right." In the medical bay, Diana Rodriguez organized her supplies. As the ship's doctor, she had to be ready for any health problems that might happen in space. She looked up as Commander Peter Collins entered. "Pre-flight medical check?" she asked. Peter nodded and sat down. As Diana checked his heart rate, he asked, "How are you feeling about the mission?" Diana's hands were steady as she worked. "I study the reports from the alien data Krathel gave us. Their crews experienced unusual dreams and thought patterns near the black hole. I've prepared some new monitoring equipment to track our brain activity. You think it will affect us mentally? I think we should be prepared for anything." In the engine room, Chief Engineer Scott Bradley and Samantha Powell made final adjustments to the gravitational shields. The system hummed with power. "I've added 15% more capacity," Samantha said, wiping sweat from her forehead. "Based on the alien data, we might need it." Scott nodded. "I reinforced the inner hull too. If the shields fail, we might have a few extra minutes to find a solution." "Always the optimist," Samantha said with a small smile. On the bridge, Olivia Winters and Gregory Kim worked with Iris, the ship's artificial intelligence system. "I've updated your quantum calculation models," Gregory told the AI. "You should be able to process the black hole data faster now." "Thank you, Dr. Kim," Iris responded in a calm, clear voice. "I have integrated the new algorithms. My processing capacity has increased by 28%. Olivia looked out the viewport at the blue Earth below them. "Iris, run the simulation again. Show us what happens when we approach the event horizon." The main screen filled with a swirling image of darkness surrounded by brilliant light. Current models suggest time dilation will begin affecting communications at approximately 500,000 kilometers from the event horizon, Iris explained. "At our planned observation distance, 1 hour on the ship will equal approximately 3 hours on Earth." Gregory whistled softly. Einstein would be proud. "And scared," Olivia added. 2 hours before launch, the crew gathered one last time in the conference room. Peter stood at the head of the table. "This is our final briefing on Earth," he said. "Once we launch, we're committed. If anyone has doubts, now is the time to speak." The room was quiet. Then Andrew raised his hand. "I've been running the numbers again. The readings from the alien data show gravitational forces 20% stronger than our initial estimates. I'm not saying we shouldn't go, but we should adjust our approach vectors." Peter looked at Samantha. "Can the shields handle it?" She nodded. "With the upgrades, yes. Any other concerns?" Diana spoke up. "I want daily psychological evaluations for everyone, including you, Commander. Whatever affected the alien crew might affect us too." "Agreed," Peter said. Scott cleared his throat. "I've added emergency escape pods with enhanced shielding, just in case." Peter looked around the table at each face. Despite their concerns, he saw determination in their eyes. "We've trained for this mission for 5 years," he said. "We've built the most advanced ship in human history. We're ready." As the crew suited up for launch, news channels around the world broadcast live coverage. Crowds gathered to watch. The Galactic Alliance had sent observers, their ships keeping a respectful but watchful distance in orbit. The countdown began. Inside the Challenger, 7 humans strapped themselves in, ready to challenge the universe's most feared phenomenon. 10, 9, 8. Olivia closed her eyes briefly. Everything she had worked for came down to this moment. 3, 2, 1. The engines roared to life. The Challenger rose from Earth, carrying humanity's boldest explorers toward the darkness between stars. 3 weeks into their journey, the USV Challenger cruised smoothly through the darkness of space. The initial excitement had settled into a steady routine as the crew worked, exercised, and prepared for what lay ahead. On the observation deck, Olivia stared out at the stars. They looked different here, so far from Earth. No twinkling, just steady points of light against perfect blackness. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Peter said as he floated up beside her. Olivia nodded. "We're the first humans to see stars from this exact spot in the universe." "First of many firsts on this mission," Peter replied. The ship's intercom buzzed. "Commander, Dr. Winters, could you come to the science lab?" It was Lisa's voice, tight with excitement. They found Lisa and Gregory hovering over a large screen displaying complex data patterns. "Iris detected something," Lisa said without looking up. The black hole's signals changed. Gregory pointed to a series of peaks and valleys in the data. "They've become more regular, almost like a heartbeat, and they're getting stronger as we get closer." "Is it responding to our approach?" Peter asked. Olivia studied the patterns. "It's possible. Or maybe we're just able to detect more detail at this range." "Either way," Lisa said, "something's happening. Something big." By the end of the second month, the effects of deep space travel were showing on everyone. Diana reported minor sleep disturbances among the crew, but it was the dreams that concerned her most. "They all report similar imagery," she told Peter during their weekly health review. "Darkness with points of light. Feelings of falling but not being afraid." "Space travel does strange things to the mind," Peter suggested. Diana shook her head. "This is different. The patterns are too similar. And brain scans show unusual activity in the visual cortex during REM sleep." In the engine room, Scott and Samantha worked constantly to keep the ship's systems perfectly tuned. "The gravitational sensors are picking up readings ahead of schedule," Scott said, showing Samantha his tablet. "We shouldn't be feeling the black hole's pull this soon." Samantha frowned. "Either our calculations were wrong, or the black hole is bigger than we thought," Scott finished. Andrew confirmed their suspicions from the navigation station. "It's definitely affecting our trajectory already. Nothing dangerous, but noticeable." Peter called a full crew meeting to discuss the findings. "We need to decide," he said. "Do we adjust our approach plan based on these new readings?" Gregory spoke first. "The black hole is clearly more powerful than our models predicted, but the shields should still hold." "At our planned observation distance," Samantha added. "If we get any closer than that, I can't guarantee safety." Olivia tapped on her tablet, bringing up a new set of calculations. According to Iris, the signal patterns from inside the black hole are coming from approximately 5,000 kilometers inside the event horizon. The room fell silent. "Inside?" Andrew asked. "That's impossible. Nothing escapes from inside a black hole, not even light." "Yet we're receiving signals," Olivia countered, "which means everything we know about black holes might be wrong." As they debated, Iris interrupted. "Attention. Communication delay with Earth has increased to 15 minutes. Time dilation effects are beginning." Peter looked at each crew member. "We're still 2 weeks from our destination, and already feeling its effects. Things will only get more strange from here. Anyone who wants to abort the mission, speak now." No one spoke. Lisa finally broke the silence. "We didn't come all this way to turn back at the first sign of the unexpected." Diana nodded. "I'll increase our psychological monitoring, but I support continuing." "Engineering is green," Scott said. Shields are holding steady. Navigation can compensate for the gravitational effects, Andrew added. Peter looked at Olivia, chief scientist. She smiled slightly. The universe is giving us a chance to rewrite physics. I say we take it. Then it's settled, Peter said. We continue as planned, but with increased caution. That night, as the crew slept, the ship's systems recorded a new phenomenon. For exactly 12 seconds, all instruments registered a complete absence of quantum fluctuations around the ship, something that should be physically impossible. Iris loved the event but did not wake the crew. The next morning, when Olivia reviewed the night's data, she stared at the readings for a long time. It knows we're coming, she whispered to herself. In the distance, invisible to human eyes, but growing larger every day, the black hole waited. They saw it first as a dark spot against the stars. Then, as the Challenger drew closer, the black hole revealed its true nature, a perfect circle of absolute darkness surrounded by a ring of swirling light, beautiful and terrifying at the same time. My God, whispered Andrew as he stared at the main view screen. It's like looking at the eye of something alive. No one disagreed. The crew had gathered on the bridge as they reached their initial observation point, 50 million kilometers from the event horizon. Far enough to be safe, close enough to begin their studies. Launch Probe 1, Peter ordered. Scott pressed a series of buttons on his console. Probe 1 away. They watched as the small, unmanned craft sped toward the black hole. Its mission was to get closer than the Challenger could safely go and send back data. Probe telemetry is good, Gregory reported. All systems nominal. For 6 hours, the probe transmitted perfect data. Then, at 30 million kilometers from the event horizon, something strange happened. I'm losing the signal, Gregory said, his fingers flying over the controls. No, wait. It's back. But different. Different how? Peter asked. The data doesn't make sense. According to these readings, the probe is experiencing time at different rates in different parts of its structure. Olivia moved quickly to Gregory's station. Show me. The numbers on the screen told an impossible story. The front of the probe was experiencing time more slowly than the back, creating a stretching effect that should have torn the little craft apart. Yet it continued to function. Probe 2, Peter decided. Let's see if we get the same results. The second probe lasted slightly longer before its signal became garbled and then stopped completely. Probe 3, launched with special shielding based on the alien crystal's data, performed better. It reached 20 million kilometers from the event horizon before it too was lost. But not before it sent back something remarkable. Do you see this? Lisa asked, pointing at a particular set of readings. The quantum entanglement patterns here shouldn't exist. Gregory leaned closer to look. It's as if information is escaping from inside the event horizon. That's supposed to be impossible, Scott said. And yet, Olivia replied, we're seeing it happen. Lisa turned to Peter. Commander, these readings suggest that the normal rules of physics are being bent somehow. Information that should be trapped forever behind the event horizon is finding a way out. Peter looked at his crew. Opinions. We should move closer, Olivia said immediately. These readings are revolutionary, but we need more detail. Andrew frowned. Moving closer increases our risk exponentially. The time dilation alone could mean years passing on Earth while we experience only days. I've been monitoring our shield performance, Samantha added. They're holding well at this distance, but I can't promise the same if we move much closer. The alien data mentioned similar findings before their ships were lost, Diana reminded them. But one ship did return, Gregory pointed out. Somewhere, somehow. Peter considered all their input. It was the most important decision of the mission. Maybe of human history. Iris, he said to the ship's eye. Calculate our safe approach distance based on current shield capabilities and the new data from the probes. Calculating, the AI responded. After a moment. Recommended safe approach. 25 million kilometers from event horizon. This will place us closer than any known vessel has approached while maintaining reasonable safety margins. Peter nodded. Plot the course, Andrew. Scott, Samantha. I want the shields at maximum capacity. What about Earth? Diana asked. At that distance, the time dilation will make communication almost impossible. We're already experiencing a delay of nearly 40 minutes, Peter said. They knew we might lose contact entirely. As the Challenger moved carefully toward its new position, the black holes seemed to grow larger on their screens. The swirling accretion disk of matter circling it glowed with blues, reds, and purples as gas and dust heated to extreme temperatures before disappearing forever into the darkness. Or so they had always believed. I'm picking up the signal again, Olivia said suddenly. The one we detected from Earth. It's much clearer now. On the speakers, a pattern of sounds played. Not random noise, but structured, regular, intentional. Is that language? Andrew asked. I don't know, Olivia admitted. But whatever it is, it's coming from somewhere we've always been told nothing can escape from. The Challenger continued its approach, a tiny spark of human curiosity moving toward the greatest mystery in the universe. At 25 million kilometers from the black hole, the Challenger settled into a stable orbit, as close as they dared to go with the entire ship. The gravitational shields hummed loudly now, working harder than they ever had during testing. Final shield check complete, Samantha announced. We're holding steady, but power consumption is 30% higher than predicted. How long can we maintain this position? Peter asked. At current rates, about 9 days, Scott answered. After that, we'll need to pull back to recharge our systems. Peter nodded. 9 days to gather as much data as we can. The crew worked around the clock in shifts. Sleep became difficult for everyone as the strange dreams intensified. Diana logged each report carefully. It's always the same theme, she told Peter during their daily briefing. Falling through darkness toward points of light. But no one feels afraid. They describe it as peaceful. On the third day at their observation point, communication with Earth cut out completely. The time dilation had stretched the signal delay to over 4 hours, and then the quantum interference from the black hole scrambled the remaining connection. We're on our own now, Peter announced to the crew. That same day, Olivia made a breakthrough with the signals coming from the black hole. I've been analyzing the patterns, she explained to the assembled crew. They repeat in cycles of exactly 108.7 seconds, too precise to be natural. You think it's a message? Lisa asked. I think it's a beacon, Olivia replied. Like a lighthouse helping ships avoid dangerous shores. Except this one seems to be inviting us in. Gregory shook his head. Nothing survives inside a black hole. The gravitational forces would crush anything to a singularity. Yet we have evidence something is in there, sending signals out, Olivia countered. What if there's a way to survive inside? A pocket where the normal rules don't apply. The debate continued for hours. Eventually, Peter called for a decision. We have 6 days left at this position. What's our next step? Olivia took a deep breath. I want to send a modified probe directly into the event horizon. The room fell silent. The probe would be destroyed instantly, Scott said. Not if I connect it to the ship through quantum entanglement, Olivia explained. Based on what we've seen, the black hole doesn't break quantum connections. The probe could send data even from inside. Theoretically, Lisa added. It's worth the risk, Olivia insisted. We came all this way to discover what's inside. Peter considered this. How long would it take to prepare such a probe? 2 days, Gregory said. If we all help. Do it, Peter decided. For the next 2 days, the crew worked tirelessly to modify their last probe. They installed the most advanced sensors they had and a quantum communication system based on Olivia's designs. The work was difficult under the increasing gravitational strain, but they pushed through their exhaustion. When it was ready, Olivia surprised everyone with a request. I want to pilot it manually, she said. Remote control will be too slow with the time distortion. Absolutely not, Peter replied immediately. We're not sending anyone into a black hole. I'm not suggesting physically going, Olivia clarified. The probe has a neural interface. I can connect to it and guide it from here, but my mind will experience what the probe experiences. Diana looked concerned. The mental strain could be severe. It's the only way to make real-time adjustments, Olivia argued. Otherwise, the probe might miss something important. After more debate, Peter reluctantly agreed, but with conditions. Diana monitors your vitals constantly. At the first sign of distress, we pull the plug. On the 6th day, they were ready. Olivia lay in the medical bay, connected to monitoring equipment while Gregory attached the neural interface to her head. The probe will launch in 5 minutes, he told her. You'll feel a slight disorientation when the connection establishes. Olivia nodded, her heart racing with fear and excitement. I've been preparing for this my whole career. Diana checked the monitors one last time. Brain activity normal. Heart rate elevated but within acceptable parameters. Launch the probe, Peter ordered from the bridge. The small craft detached from the Challenger and accelerated toward the black hole. On the screens, they watched it shrink to a dot, then disappear against the perfect darkness. In the medical bay, Olivia gasped as her mind connected with the probe. Suddenly, she was rushing toward the black hole. Faster and faster. She felt the pull of gravity increasing, saw the stars around her stretching into lines of light. I'm approaching the event horizon, she whispered. 3, 2, 1. Her body arched in the medical bay as the probe crossed the point of no return. On the bridge of the Challenger, everyone stared at the screen showing Olivia's vital signs. Her heart rate spiked as the probe crossed the event horizon, then stabilized. Connection holding, Gregory reported, his voice tight with tension. Quantum link is stable. Olivia. Diana called through the intercom. Can you hear us? In the medical bay, Olivia's body lay still, but her mind was elsewhere. Her eyes moved rapidly behind closed lids. I'm inside, she whispered. It's not what we expected. The probe's data began flooding into the ship's computers. The readings defied everything they knew about physics. This can't be right, Lisa said as she examined the numbers. According to this, the gravitational forces dropped dramatically after crossing the event horizon. Andrew shook his head in disbelief. That's impossible. The gravity should be crushing. In the medical bay, Olivia began to speak more clearly. The space inside isn't what we thought. It's like a bubble within normal spacetime. I can see light. Light? Peter asked. Inside a black hole. Not just light, Olivia continued. Structures. Artificial structures. Everyone fell silent as the implications hit them. Someone built something inside a black hole. Scott finally asked. Or something evolved there, Gregory suggested. Diana reported from the medical bay. Her brain activity is unusual but stable. She's experiencing something intense, but she's not in distress. Through the neural link, Olivia guided the probe deeper into the black hole. What she saw defied explanation. The inside of the black hole wasn't a singularity of crushed matter as physics predicted. Instead, it was a vast space, like a bubble of normal reality protected from the extreme gravitational forces that should have destroyed everything. There are objects here, she reported. Massive structures, kilometers long. They look like habitats, ships. I can't tell. The probe's cameras sent back images that appeared on the Challenger's screens. Enormous structures floated in what looked like empty space, surrounded by a faint blue glow. Some were clearly artificial. Geometric shapes with regular patterns that suggested technology far beyond human understanding. Life signs? Peter asked. Gregory checked another set of readings. The probe is detecting energy signatures consistent with biological processes, but not like anything in our database. Multiple species, Olivia added suddenly. I can Sense them somehow. The probe's sensors are picking up different types of life. Not just one civilization. Many. Lisa studied the quantum data pouring in. The space inside the black hole exists in a state of quantum superposition. Somehow, it's both inside normal spacetime and separated from it. A pocket universe, Andrew suggested. More like a sanctuary, Olivia whispered. They're using the black hole as protection. Hiding inside it. Hiding from what? Peter wondered. Before Olivia could answer, alarm bells rang throughout the ship. Power surge in the gravitational shields, Samantha reported urgently. We're losing stability. The black hole's gravitational pull just increased by 20%, Andrew added. No warning. No explanation. Scott rushed to help Samantha stabilize the shields. We can't maintain this position. We need to pull back now. Olivia, we have to disconnect you, Diana said. The ship is in danger. Wait, Olivia pleaded. I'm seeing something new. The structures are activating. Lights. Movement. They know we're here. On the main screen, they watched as one of the massive objects began to move, turning toward the probe's position. It's responding to our presence, Gregory said in awe. The ship shuddered as another gravitational wave hit them. Final warning, Scott called out. Shields at critical levels. We have minutes, not hours. Peter made the hardest decision of his career. Disconnect Olivia and prepare for emergency retreat. One more minute, Olivia begged. They're trying to communicate. The massive structure in the black hole emitted a pulse of energy that the probe recorded. Then another, and another. A clear pattern. It's the same signal we detected from Earth, Gregory realized. But stronger, clearer. A greeting? Lisa suggested. No, Olivia said as understanding dawned on her. It's an invitation. At that moment, the probe's power began to fail. The connection grew weaker. Olivia, we're losing you, Diana warned. I understand now, Olivia said, her voice fading. The black holes aren't dead ends. They're doorways, and they're inviting us through. The neural connection broke as the probe's power failed completely. In the medical bay, Olivia gasped and her eyes flew open. Commander, she said as soon as she could speak, we need to go in. All of us. The entire ship. 3 years passed on Earth with no word from the Challenger. The mission was officially declared lost. Memorial services were held for the brave crew who had ventured closer to a black hole than any humans before them. The Galactic Alliance expressed formal condolences, but reminded humanity that they had warned of the dangers. Director Frank Sullivan refused to give up hope. He kept a small team monitoring for any signal from the Ta City system. But as the months passed, even his determination began to fade. Then, on a quiet Tuesday morning, an alert sounded in the nearly empty monitoring station. A young technician named Linda stared at her screen in disbelief. Sir, she called to her supervisor. I'm picking up a signal on the Challenger's emergency frequency. From Ta City? Her supervisor asked, rushing over. No, Linda said, checking the coordinates again. From inside our solar system. From the micro black hole near Neptune. Word spread quickly. Within hours, every telescope and sensor in the solar system was pointed toward the small black hole that had been discovered decades ago, but largely ignored as inactive. At USI headquarters, Sullivan watched the live feed with a room full of scientists and government officials. On the main screen, a point of light appeared at the edge of the black hole. It grew larger, taking form. It's a ship, someone whispered, but not the Challenger. The vessel that emerged from the black hole was clearly the same size and shape as the Challenger, but its hull glowed with a faint blue light. Strange patterns covered its surface that hadn't been there before. Sullivan leaned forward. Open a channel. After several attempts, the screen flickered. Commander Peter Collins appeared, looking older but very much alive. USI Control, this is the Challenger, he said. Request permission to return to Earth orbit. The room erupted in cheers and cries of disbelief. When the modified Challenger finally reached Earth orbit, the crew told their incredible story. After Olivia's discovery, they had faced an impossible choice: retreat to safety or risk everything on her belief that the black hole was a doorway. The shields were failing, Peter explained during the debriefing. We could either back away to safe distance or go forward. Based on what Olivia had seen, we took a vote. It was unanimous, Olivia added. We went in. Instead of being crushed by gravity, the Challenger had passed through what the crew now called a fold in spacetime. Inside, they found not one civilization but dozens, living in a network of sanctuary spaces inside interconnected black holes. They call themselves the Precursors, Gregory explained. Some of their species are millions of years old. They discovered that black holes could be modified to create safe spaces inside, protected from something they call the Great Wave, a disaster that swept through the galaxy long ago. They've been watching younger species for millennia, Lisa continued, sending signals, hoping someone would be brave enough to answer. Scott presented the modified technology they had brought back. They helped us improve our ship. The Challenger can now navigate through the black hole network, a system of natural wormholes connecting different parts of the galaxy. And they sent us back through a closer exit point, Samantha added. The black hole near Neptune is part of the same network as the one in Tau Ceti. In the days that followed, scientists pored over the data and technology the crew had brought back. It would change humanity's understanding of physics forever and open the galaxy to exploration in ways no one had imagined possible. 1 week after their return, a delegation from the Galactic Alliance arrived at Earth. Their demeanor was different now, respectful, almost reverent. For millions of years, we have feared what lies beyond the darkness, the head delegate said to Sullivan and the Challenger crew. Your species has shown us that fear is not wisdom. The Precursors have invited us all to join them in exploration of the true galaxy. They have chosen humanity to lead the way. Peter looked at his crew with pride. We were just curious, he said simply. The alien delegate bowed slightly. That is precisely why they chose you. As ships from Earth and the Alliance prepared for joint missions to explore the black hole network, Olivia stood at a window looking at the stars. They seemed different to her now. Not distant and unreachable, but doorways waiting to be opened. Humanity had done what no other species dared to do. They had looked into the darkness and found not an ending, but a beginning.